Hello my friends, how the devil are you? Okay, in this video we're going to look at the top 8 dangers of metal detecting in the UK. Obviously YouTube is far and wide. Some of these dangers will apply to you in other countries and some won't. Some countries there'll be a hell of a lot more dangers. Like you guys at metal detect in Australia, there's a lot of dangers. Everything wants to eat you in Australia. Okay, so these are the top 8 of this country in particular. Again, this is a communal video. If you've got any ideas or anything to add that I've missed, which I probably have, please add it in the comments below to help out other people and myself, because I learn all the time from my comment section and the wisdom of my followers. You are amazing. Please don't stop commenting. So the first one is ticks. If you are metal detecting in the summer especially, and you walk through long grass, there is every possibility and chance that you will get a tick. And what they do is they'll get into your skin, and then if you pull them out, because they're there to get your blood, and if you pull them out, then you could get there's a disease, I've forgotten what it's called, but it's bad. It's bad. It's a really nasty thing. You get really bad flu-like symptoms, and then loss of strength, and yeah, you don't want to tick. You can get these little things. I'll look it up actually online on Amazon, and I'll put a link below if I find them, because that's a good reminder actually, because I need to get one myself, where you can get it underneath the tick and you can pull it out safely, so it pulls out its like stem rather than you just brushing it off and it stays inside type thing. Let me look into that. But anyway, it is a danger. I wouldn't recommend walking through long grass in shorts. I don't know. You know, each to his own and all that, but it's just not something that I would do. When I've metal detected in other countries, then this is something they're really big on is ticks. So yes, number 1 is ticks. Number 2 is Wales disease. That's rat's urine, and it's again a nasty thing that you do not want, and it's rat's urine. It's typically in rivers, but still waters and things, and just generally mud on fields. So this comes down to wearing gloves obviously, and keeping yourself as clean as possible after you've left the field, and really not eating something with no gloves after you've been on a field. Wales disease is another thing that you really don't want, and it's something to look into and try and protect yourself from as much as possible. The third one is cows. Pasture, obviously. We come across cows all the time in this country. And there are efficient ways of dealing with cows. A lot of people will panic. Cows are naturally inquisitive animals. And people think that they're coming to attack them when they're just coming to have a look, basically. There is a video actually online of this guy that describes it and explains it perfectly, what you should and shouldn't do when you come across, I think he's a farmer, when you come across cows. Actually, yeah, and rather than me going on about it here, I'll link that video in the description below as well. It's really good. They're not there to hurt you, they're just inquisitive, and they're friendly creatures, but people deal with it in a bad way, which can make the situation worse, as that video will explain. So the fourth danger in this country and other countries is old lead. Old lead is just extremely toxic stuff, and it's extremely poisonous, and it is a concern and a worry when you're metal detecting. But again, that comes down to efficiently understanding what it is, why it can do the things it does, and protecting yourself from it as much as possible, which comes down to again wearing gloves and not eating around it, because it's not only the particles that you can inhale and ingest of old lead, which is toxic and extremely dangerous. You need to understand why it's dangerous and look into it a little bit, and again protect yourself efficiently. The next one is cuts. If you nick yourself or cut yourself when you're detecting, which happens quite often, it's a danger in the sense of it can lead to sepsis, which is not something you want. This is how a lot of ways sepsis manifests. Someone will get a little cut and then it will just get infected, but that's elevated and more likely to happen when you're on a dirty, horrible field whilst metal detecting. It's a big danger. Again, it's an education thing. Again, it's understanding that you should wear gloves, but also I have these antibacterial things you can get in supermarkets. If I get a cut, I'll wet wipe it, clean it out, get the anti-bac in there, just make sure it's clean, efficient, and then just put a little plaster on it if it's a bad cut. But again, it's just one of those things that you should educate yourself about and understand what you need to do if you do get a cut, because you don't want to be just leaving it and hoping for the best when you're on the field. Okay, next one comes back down to metal detecting in long grass in the summer, and that's adders. You get a bite off an adder, it can be nasty, especially if you've already got some sort of underlying health condition. Adders are typically shy creatures, but you don't know what situation you're going to get yourself into if you're in long grass metal detecting. If you accidentally stand on one or upset a baby, and then you know, it's when it comes back down to that, detecting in long grass thing again, I try and avoid it as much as possible, especially if I've got shorts or something as well. Again, an adder will not try and come to you just to attack you. It will try and get the other way, but if you disturb it, it will get angry and it will protect itself, which is absolutely fair enough. It's not a big one in this country, but it's something just to be kind of conscious of and aware of, just in case. The next one is dehydration, stroke, sunstroke. What people don't understand about this particular country, we have this kind of cliche that it's grey and gloomy always in England. It's not like that all the time. Most of the time it is, but typically in the summer it will get very hot. We've just had weather here which is the same as it is in Texas at the moment, and it will get extremely hot. And people go out metal detecting, they're like, hey, it's warm and sunny, they go out metal detecting, they don't take a hat, and they can get dehydrated, and we know the problems that dehydration can cause, and loads of people get sunstroked or really bad sunburn, and we shouldn't be messing with sunburn now because we know the links between that and skin cancer. It's basically, this one is, I've put down dehydration, but it's a number of things which are relevant to the sun and protecting yourself from the sun in hot weather. My number 8 danger of metal detecting in the UK is other humans. Humans can be a strange, fickle creature, as we've probably all know and have experienced in our lives. You can get people that don't want you to be doing what you're doing. On the beach, for example, you can get aggressive people saying that what you're doing that for, you're just a vulture or something. That happens quite often. Or you get young teenagers that just want to lob stuff at you. The more scary thing is if you're on a field and someone approaches you and is aggressive for whatever reason, you're by yourself. This is, I'm not trying to make people paranoid in any way. It's a rare thing again. Well, actually, the beach it's more prominent on the beach. Sometimes on fields it does happen. You get a lot of people come up to you, this is my field, you're not allowed to metal detect here, even though you've got permission and you're allowed to, and they get aggressive. You get a lot of that. Oh, hello, little birdie. And that's unfortunate. This one comes down to just understanding your kind of spatial awareness, I think, around you, what's going on, just clocking things, keeping an eye on things, making sure that things are okay, especially when you're on the beach, and understanding what you can do to protect yourself legally as well is also really important. If somebody does attack you, you can protect yourself. So it's kind of important to know what you can and can't do if that happens. But I know a lot of metal detectorists, and the majority of them can handle themselves, and we do have a big shovel and spade which can also be handy if it ever needs to be. But just on the whole, just an understanding of what's going around you and just being cautious if people are acting and behaving strangely, perhaps moving away from that situation. Anyway, my friends, there's my 8 dangers of metal detecting in the UK. Again, if you have any more, please add them to the list below. I hope it helped you in some way, and I shall see you in the next video.